I'd like to talk to you a little bit about bird migrations in Australia. Now, Australia's not well known for migratory birds, not like the migratory patterns that occur in places like North and South America and Europe into Africa. We do have migratory birds. We have migratory seabirds that travel from our coasts up into the Bering Sea and other places. We have the migratory waders, which travel between Australia and Japan, Siberia, China, etc. And we also do have migratory birds that move between the islands of Indonesia and New Guinea and northern Australia, and some come well down into southern parts of Australia. So we do have migratory species, but it's not well known and it's not a big part of our avifauna. But there is a group of birds that migrates near my home in Canberra, and these are the honeyeaters. Now, as a young person, I learned a lot about bird watching migratory the honeyeaters along this river course, the Murrumbidgee behind me. And what we get is large groups of honeyeaters coming down from the mountains, the Snowy Mountains, the Brindabella Mountains, off to the west of the ACT. These birds come down onto the lower country. They find streamlines and tree lines. And what they're doing is they're moving out of the mountains where they bred during the summer and where the food becomes less abundant during the winter months, and they're moving down to the heathlands of the coast. We did a lot, when I was a young bird watcher, we did a lot of research right on this particular location to try and work out the patterns of these honeyeater migrations. And we banded thousands of birds right here at Point Hutt. Sadly, we didn't get very many returns, but what we were able to work out is that the birds were moving in large numbers down to places like Nowra, like the heathlands around Sydney, and going up along the coast of New South Wales to places around Coffs Harbour and further north, Grafton. So they were spending their winter months in those rich heathlands of the coast, and then in the summer months they were returning to the mountains to breed. Now in the summer they just drift through in small numbers and you hardly see them. But when they leave the mountains at the end of summer, in the autumn, round about Easter time, they come through locations like this in huge numbers, thousands and thousands of birds. And it's a pretty spectacular sight when you see on those few days when the real concentrations of honeyeaters occur. And the sort of honeyeaters I'm talking about are mainly yellow-faced honeyeaters, but also white-napes, red wattlebirds, and sometimes others get mixed in with them, but they're the main migratory species, and yellow-faced honeyeaters are probably the biggest group of all. So migratory birds do occur in Australia. There are some famous ones like the seabirds and the migratory waders to Asia, but even amongst our bush birds we have these local movements of birds which can be spectacular at certain times of the year, and I hope you get a chance to see some of these migratory flocks at some time.